You know that feeling, right? Like you're sitting at your desk.
Just staring at the screen.
Exactly, staring at the screen. And there's this invisible pressure just building up around your career. You feel the squeeze.
Oh, the squeeze is so real. I mean, the anxiety is just palpable across the board right now. The rules of knowledge work aren't just shifting. They're basically being rewritten in real time.
Yeah, and it leaves people feeling like they're suddenly playing a video game without, knowing the controls.
Right, exactly.
And the numbers actually completely validate that feeling. Recent documentation shows that, get this, 62% of white-collar workers are feeling this exact squeeze.
Wow, over 60%.
Yeah, and they actively want a structured pivot in their careers, right, because they see the writing on the wall. But the agonizing part is, well, it's the barrier to entry.
Right, the paywalls.
Exactly. To get comprehensive reskilling, the kind that actually teaches you how to navigate this era, not just giving you a list of generic prompts, it almost always sits behind a massive paywall. You have to risk, like, thousands of dollars just to see if the map they're selling even makes sense.
It's a huge leap of faith. I mean, you're asked to invest heavily in a methodology before you even have a chance to see if it, aligns with how you actually work.
Which brings us to the core of today's deep dive. We're looking at a highly disruptive move in the AI education space. This is based on an April 2026 press release from EON AI Ventures.
Right. And for context for the listener, this isn't some fly-by-night startup just trying to cash in on a trend.
No, not at all.
EON is rooted in a 25-year-old platform. They have a massive global footprint. We're talking over 136 million platform downloads.
That is massive.
Operating across more than 80 countries. And they have just decided to essentially take a sledgehammer to that educational paywall.
Yeah, they really did. They called this framework the pyramid. It's a 3-level AI operating model, and it's the absolute core of their 100-course curriculum. And as of this announcement, that framework is free to the public.
Completely free. No sign-up gates, no credit card required.
None of that. So our mission today is to extract and decode this pyramid so you, the listener, can mentally download it right now and immediately apply it to your own work, whether you use Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, or whatever model comes out next week.
Right. It's completely platform agnostic.
Okay, let's unpack this because I have to play devil's advocate right out of the gate here.
Sure, go for it.
If this core mental model works on literally any frontier AI, isn't giving it away a terrible business strategy? I mean, why buy the cow if the milk is free?
Well, what's fascinating here is how clearly EON understands what actually holds value in the AI era.
Oh, okay, what do you mean?
So EON's founder, Dan Lidgerskar, articulated this perfectly. He basically said, the framework is what changes how a person thinks about AI, but the toolkit is what turns that thinking into shipped work.
Okay, the thinking versus the doing. But still, I mean, if you teach me how to fish for free, I'm probably not paying you $1,000 later.
Well, you might. If the water you want to fish in requires, like, an industrial trawler to survive.
Ah, okay.
Let's look at the funnel they've actually built. EON broke the onboarding into 3 steps. Step 1 is the EAFI, the EON AI Fluency Index.
Right.
It's a free 10-minute diagnostic tool. It places you on a 5-band literacy scale so you can see your current gaps. Then step 2 is a free 45-minute intro course covering the pyramid itself. You run concrete exercises against your actual weekly workload.
Right, and then we hit the gate. Step 3 is the AI Founder Program, which is an optional $975 investment for a 90-day sprint. Yeah. And that contains the other 99 courses.
Exactly. EON isn't trying to sell a secret philosophy because a mental framework is portable. You can take it anywhere.
Sure.
But the framework alone doesn't build a product at scale. For that $975, EON is selling the heady infrastructure.
An industrial trawler.
Yes. They're selling access to a pre-configured 250-agent cloud fleet, experiential simulation labs, a massive distribution marketplace. They don't want to waste time teaching paying customers how to think.
Right. They want customers who show up on day one already knowing how to operate.
Exactly. So they can immediately plug into that infrastructure and just start building.
Okay. So they give you the blueprint so you'll rent their bulldozer. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's a brilliant play.
So let's get into the blueprint itself. Level 1 of this pyramid completely shifts how a user should be interacting with AI right now.
Level 1 is called the Consigliere. And the key to understanding this whole framework is that each level is activated by a specific trigger.
Right.
The trigger for level 1 is complexity.
And the source material notes that roughly 80% of a knowledge worker's AI use should live right here at level 1, right?
Yep, 80%.
But the core discipline here seems well, entirely backward to how most people use these tools today. The rule is basically spill the situation in exhaustive detail and ask for analysis, not output.
Right. The primary reason most AI interactions fail to deliver real value is that people skipped the thinking step entirely.
They just jump straight to execution.
Exactly. They type, write me a memo about the Q3 budget shortfall.
Right. So it's the difference between treating the AI like a fast typist to draft a quick email versus treating it like a brilliant strategic sounding board, a true consigliere.
That's a great way to put it.
You use it to help you figure out if you should even be sending that email in the first place.
Which raises an important question, right? What actually happens cognitively when you use the AI as a sounding board?
You have to clarify your own thoughts.
Exactly. By pausing and articulating this messy problem to the AI first and asking it to analyze the variables and constraints, you force yourself to clarify your own thinking, and the AI surfaces blind spots.
Right.
So the overarching rule of the pyramid, established right here at the foundation, is that you must plan with the brain before the hands act.
Basically, don't ask for the draft until you've debated the strategy.
Precisely.
But hang on, navigating complex, muddy thinking is great for strategy. But what about the grunt work? I mean, what happens when the work isn't complex anymore and it just becomes predictable?
Well, that naturally pushes us up the pyramid to level 2.
Which is the agent. And the trigger here completely changes. It's no longer complexity.
Right. The trigger for level 2 is repetition.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because I want you listening right now to think about your own week. We all have that one, mind-numbing Friday expense reconciliation.
Oh, absolutely. Or a weekly data report that just drains your will to live.
Right. And the framework says if you do a multi-step process or templated workflow more than 3 times, you stop doing it by hand. You build an agent.
EON calls this automating the middle 60%.
But I have to say, I'm slightly terrified of level 2. Like, the idea of letting an AI agent automatically pull my data and email my boss without me even looking at it, that sounds like a total disaster waiting to happen.
See, but that fear is exactly why level 1 has to come first.
Oh, okay.
You don't deploy an agent to solve a complex, ambiguous problem. You've already done the level 1 thinking to map the exact boundaries and rules of that weekly report. The agent is strictly for execution. The moment you find yourself manually clicking the same sequence of buttons and typing the same prompts repeatedly, you are burning cognitive bandwidth.
So the agent just reclaims that time based on the strict parameters you already established in level 1?
Exactly.
Okay, but automating my Friday afternoon is great for my sanity, but it doesn't build a product I can actually sell. Saving myself an hour doesn't create scalable software. So how do we leap from personal time savers to, durable systems?
Well, that leap takes us to the top of the pyramid, level 3, the product developer. And following the pattern, the trigger for level 3 is scale.
Scale, right.
You aren't just using one isolated agent anymore. At this level, you have multiple agents coordinating around shared infrastructure to build something much bigger than yourself.
And EON calls this build methodology VibeFlow 3.0, right?
Yes, VibeFlow 3.0.
I was reading through the technical stack for this in the release, and it looks incredibly daunting at first glance.
A lot of moving parts.
But then I realized it operates exactly like a high-end restaurant kitchen brigade.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah, every station has a hyper-specific job, and nobody crosses the lines. Let me try to break this down for you.
Go for it. The strict separation of roles is the entire secret to making a multi-agent system work, so let's hear the breakdown.
Okay, so in this VibeFlow stack, first you have the brain. In EON's model, this is Claude Cowork. Think of the brain as the executive chef. The chef plans the menu, designs the flavor profiles, sets the standard, but never actually touches the code. It just plans.
Perfect.
Then you have the hands. This is Claude code. These are your line cooks.
Right. They're chopping the onions, searing the meat.
Exactly. Writing the actual Python scripts. But the line cooks never decide what to build. They only execute the executive chef's plan.
Keep going. What's next?
Next is the vault, which is GitHub. This is your heavily guarded pantry. It's where all your raw ingredients and finished prep are safely locked away and version controlled.
Essential for any kitchen.
Definitely. Then we have the memory, which is Supabase. Think of this as the kitchen's ticket rail. It holds the state of all the orders. It remembers what table gets what dish, keeping the whole operation synchronized.
Right. The state management.
Yeah. And finally, you have the publisher, which is for sell. This is your expediter standing at the pass, taking the finished plates from the kitchen and actually shipping the food out to the customer's table.
That is spot on. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you can see how the foundational discipline from level 1 dictates everything happening up here at level 3.
Oh, the Consigliere principle. But wait, what if the executive chef hallucinates and tells the line cooks to, like, boil a shoe?
Well, then the system breaks down, which is exactly why the brain must plan before the hands act.
Right.
The executive chef has to write and verify the recipe before the line cook ever turns on the stove. If a learner internalizes that discipline at level 1 during a simple chat conversation, insisting on deep analysis and boundary setting, they already possess the operating model required to govern a complex fleet of agents at level 3.
So what does this all mean for the human in the loop? Because if we have this mental model and the kitchen brigade is doing all the heavy lifting, the line cook's writing the code, the expediter shipping it, what actually separates a successful builder from someone just churning out massive amounts of digital garbage?
That's the million-dollar question. And the EON source material directly addresses this by identifying cross-cutting principles that apply to all 3 levels.
Like what?
Well, for instance, they note that while your choice of underlying AI model matters, it isn't actually the decisive factor in success.
Interesting.
What they strongly warn against is sycophancy, which is the AI's tendency to just eagerly agree with your bad ideas. You have to actively force the AI to challenge you.
Right, nobody needs a yes man for a consigliere.
Exactly. They also emphasize that the level of granular detail you provide basically multiplies the quality of the output.
Garbage in, garbage out.
But above all of those mechanical rules, the framework identifies one central, defining human skill that makes the whole pyramid work.
And what's that?
Taste.
Taste. Okay, so if AI essentially reduces the physical cost of building a product to near zero, does taste just mean your human ability to decide what actually deserves to exist in the first place?
Precisely. Think about it. When the cost of production drops to zero, curation and discernment become the rarest assets in the economy. The AI can build literally any software you ask it to build. Your taste determines what to ask for.
What problems are actually worth solving?
Right, and what user experience feels right. And this realization bridges us to what EON is really selling for that $975 fee in the AI Founder Program.
Because if you have the taste and you have the pyramid framework internalized, you still need the actual tools to bring your ideas into reality without, spending months configuring your own servers.
Yep. Exactly. The $975 program provides the infrastructure for people with taste to build and distribute immediately. We mentioned the 250 agent fleet, but the toolkit goes significantly deeper than that.
Right.
It includes Venture Builder, which is a tool driven by zip code data to help you discover local market opportunities.
Wow, so grounding the tech in actual local demand. Like, instead of trying to build the next global social network, you build an agent workflow that solves a highly specific logistics problem for the plumbing companies in your specific city.
That's exactly it. Furthermore, they provide access to the EON marketplace, which gives builders direct distribution access to over 4,400 institutional buyers across more than 80 countries.
So you don't have to build a sales network from scratch.
Nope. They also include Brainy 2.0, which is an AI mentor with a real face and voice to guide you through the friction points of building.
Okay, I wanted to spend some time on one detail in the sources that completely threw me.
What was that?
The toolkit isn't just about shipping software or automating office workflows. It includes the Genesis 2 and 3 simulation labs. The documentation highlights a pathway to becoming a $300,000 a year data center electrician.
Oh, yes.
How on earth does an AI mental model and a software toolkit train someone to handle high-voltage physical wiring? That sounds insane.
It completely reframes our assumption about AI reskilling, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We usually assume AI training means, learning to code faster. But EON is using AI to rapidly accelerate training in highly lucrative, deeply physical operational roles.
How?
The Genesis simulation labs use XR extended reality.
Okay, but how does a simulation replace getting your hands dirty on a real electrical grid?
Well, it doesn't replace the physical world. It accelerates the cognitive mapping required to operate in it safely. Think about the bottleneck in training a specialized data center electrician. The systems are complex, dangerous, and incredibly expensive.
Right, you can't just let a novice tinker with a live data center to learn from their mistakes.
Exactly. The XR lab creates a high-fidelity physics simulation of that environment. The AI acts as the consigliere, guiding the trainee through diagnostic procedures. So the trainee can fail safely, they can blow up a virtual transformer, understand the root cause, and repeat the physical motions 50 times in a single afternoon.
Oh, wow. So they get the repetition and the feedback loops without the physical danger or the material costs.
Yes.
They build the muscle memory and the troubleshooting logic in the simulation, so when they finally touch a live wire, they already have the experience of a veteran.
That is wild. The pyramid framework applies just as much to diagnosing a complex electrical grid failure as it does to writing a Python script.
Because the logic of the work is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Plan with the brain before the hands act.
Wow.
Whether the hands are Claude Code writing a script or your actual hands wiring a server rack, the cognitive discipline dictates the outcome.
Man, that's powerful. Let's bring this all together because we've covered a massive amount of ground today.
Oh, really have. So the through line here is highly actionable. Step 1. Figure out where you actually stand using a diagnostic tool. Step 2. Master level 1, the Consigliere. For the vast majority of your complex work, force yourself to articulate the problem and demand analysis before you ever ask the AI to draft a single thing.
And step 3. When that work becomes predictable and repetitive, you move to level 2. Automate the middle 60% of your week by building dedicated agents to reclaim your time.
Right.
And finally, when you're ready to scale and build something durable, you ascend to level 3 as a product developer, coordinating specialized AI tools, your digital kitchen brigade, to ship real products.
And you can learn that entire operating system for free right now. It's a profound toolkit to break out of that squeeze we talked about at the beginning. But, analyzing this shift leaves us with a deeply provocative thought to chew on.
We are definitely entering an era where AI essentially vaporizes the barrier to execution. The cost of making things, whether digital or physical, is plummeting.
Right. And if we are entering an era where AI essentially reduces the cost of execution and coding to zero, your technical skills will matter far less than your taste.
Absolutely.
So think about this. How are you actively cultivating your taste today? Your unique ability to curate, discern, and decide what actually deserves to be brought into the world.